From multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. Let us not overlook this week while we're looking forward to racing on the dirt next week at Bristol. This is going to be a fantastic race at Atlanta today. We've got this surface that chews tires up. My three partners are all joining me from various and sundry locations across the great state of Wisconsin. Ed Kaluka in West Bend. Eddie, how many sets of tires do they have today?
13 sets with a cost of $28,600 just to get the show going.
God. And Dan Margetta recently returned from his trip to Nevada and Arizona. Hi, Dano.
Hey, back in Wisconsin. I like Atlanta because it's wide, too. You can run all over the place. There's all kinds of places to race here.
And Brian Schmidt of Utzberg, Wisconsin, who has been watching the dirt racing already from Bristol all week long. Hi, Brian.
Yes, I feel a lot better about the Bristol race. And Atlanta is a perfect race to have the week before Bristol because they'll be using some of their dirt characteristics this week in preparation for next week.
What about the tires? I can't believe all those sets of tires that we got to worry about.
Well, the tires are, 13 sets of tires works out. You could change tires every 25 laps. The segments today there'll be a comp probably at 30 to 40. Oh. That breaks up the first segment. And then 105, 210, and then a finish. So you're going to have to stop at least for the comp. The comp, you might just squeeze in one stop. The second one, you're going to have to stop under green if there's no yellows, which is highly doubtful. And then the last, you have a couple of stops before the end of the race. So 13 sets, and Goodyear has an edict. You have to buy them all. And when you buy them after the race, they're brand new with stickers on them. They drill holes in the side of them, and that's throwing them away.
What's the point of that?
Well, it costs a lot of money to develop those tires. They got to go test and have all them engineers working on them, and it's BS,
souvenirs?
Baby.
Do they still give them away or sell them as souvenirs? I remember as a little kid, I dragged tires home once. My mom was thrilled, and there was used tires from a race. Do they still do that?
Yeah, except you got to put a tube in them because they got holes in the sidewall.
Well, I guess
got a hole saw. They actually, it's like a quarter-inch hole. They just drill right into the sidewall of the tire.
Here's a job I could probably handle.
Destroying tires,
running gas cans back and forth, stuff like that.
No more of that next year.
That's another thing we got to look forward to. If you'd like to participate in this program, and Lord knows we love it when people participate, call us at 414-421-7901. It is a specific number just for this program. None of the other programs you hear on the Big 920, but it's our own little number, and you just tickle us to death if you could call us and give us an opinion on anything to do with the world of NASCAR racing. It's been a busy weekend at Atlanta so far.
But think about Atlanta, though. It hasn't been paved in since 1997. 1997, I think, was the last repave. It was done, and nobody wants them to repave it, but eventually they're going to have to. And they keep putting it off another year because the racing's so great.
No kidding. And the racing is good. When the tires are fresh, my God, they're all Superman. And it doesn't take long, and suddenly they're sliding around. Is this the same surface that Tony Stewart just absolutely trashed Goodyear over a couple of years ago?
That could be a good choice.
Yeah. Well, they raced the trucks here, and Kyle Busch won his 60th truck race. Johnny Sauter had a pretty darn good race, as a matter of fact, finished fourth in that one.
except for a fuel can. He was up to like 4th place, doing great. They made a pit stop. Joe says, "You got to come back in." Giant, what? We had a broken fuel can. We didn't get the gas in.
Oh, and he had no gas. Oh, my God.
I can only imagine what Johnny said after that. Probably cannot be repeated on the program.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't really out of shape this time because the car was not badly balanced all day, so he was okay.
Actually, pretty good. Yeah, he was out of the top 20 at that time, and then he drove all the way back up to finish 4th. Kraus had a good race too. He was in the top 5. Well, I think he ended up 13th at the end of the day. But it was good to see him up front.
Who was that then?
Derek Kraus.
Kraus. Okay, yeah.
And in the Xfinity series, that's where the real fireworks were. First of all, Martin Truex had the best car by a long shot. But, of course, he got NASCAR'd. They nailed him for speeding on pit road. He was so dominant that with what it was about 54 laps to go or thereabouts, they put him at the rear of the field. And what a show he put on. Made it all the way back to second. Justin Allgaier had just a little too much for Truex. Truex couldn't catch him in the waning laps, and Allgaier went on to win. But then the big fun started in the pit area during a pit stop when Daniel Hemrick came in. And Ed, why don't you explain what happened there?
Daniel Hemrick was in front of the 9 car. When he came into the pits, he slid through his pit into the 9 car's pit. And the 9 car was sitting there, waiting. Come on, get out of the way. And he backed up, but when he backed up, he stopped with just the front edge of his bumper in his own pit, the 18 car. So now the 9 car has to pull in, back up, and when he backed up, he didn't back with his rear tires out of his own box, that's a rule. You can't go in somebody else's box. He didn't have to go that far because the 18 car was already up to the edge of his pit. So the overhang, he backed up, he bumped the car. Okay, Brian, he bumped the car.
He hit the
While
car.
it was on jacks.
Yeah.
It didn't knock it off the stands. It did not move the car. He barely touched the damn thing. And the overreaction from the crew was crazy. Now the 9 car pulls in. He's got to make another maneuver just to get stopped so he can get his left side tires in the box, his right side tires in the box so they can complete their stop. And if anybody should really be pissed off here, it would be the 9 car because of what the 18 car did. But Brian, you see it totally different.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, this is Noah Gregson that's doing it, so you got to take that for what it's worth. But,
no, let's not paint him that color.
Things happen. Guys overshoot pits all the time. This is the first time I've seen someone back up and hit the car behind them. I mean, he hit him enough to move it.
Brian, he had to back up
and when you're
the car in order to get his tires.
And as a pit crew guy, when you're on your hands and knees changing a tire and you see this other car backing towards you, I think I would overreact a little bit too because that car's going to win 100 times out of 100. So, and that's what pissed off Hemrick. I mean, that's why Hemrick went over there to lay out, Gregson, because you're backing up against my pit guys. It's not just me you're affecting; it's the pit crew, and that's why Daniel Hemrick was upset.
Ed, the hand out the window with the middle finger extended. Was that just a sign I'm coming or what?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Noah's trying to do here. His results. I mean, he had a good finish yesterday, the first time. Probably he's had a good finish this year, but he's not helping himself at all. And if he just wants to try to be the bad guy and he thinks he's going to embrace it, fine. But I don't know.
Great. It's great. Hey, we need more. I remember Kyle Busch early on. It was the same way. He acted the same way. He reacted the same way. Everybody hated him. They booed the hell out of that guy. Now he's got a kid and a wife and everything to go, and the champion love him. Someday you're going to turn your colors for this kid Noah.
Ed, to a great extent, you are correct. Noah is going to be. We need a little shot of adrenaline into our sport, and this kid is a walking, talking shot of adrenaline. That's for sure. He will make some people mad. He will make some people glad, which is, again, it's fun to have around. But when he can. actually get to the point where he pisses off Mike Joy, and Joy says, talks about these rich kids and their entitled behavior. And this is certainly the king of the rich kids with entitled behavior.
To finish this story, Noah ended the fight. Yeah. Clocked him good. Now you won't come by me next time you want to do this. That's like you might as well attack a tire.
And we'll see what NASCAR does, because they take seriously stuff on pit road.
They're not gonna. I don't know.
I don't know if something will go down here. We'll see. Tuesday is when they usually.
Before we hit the break, can we all agree that the only guy that really took care of business 100% in the last 10, 15 years is probably Kansas?
True.
Amen. Let's take care of business, and that's what that was. We'll be right back.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Stimulus checks are rolling in. But if you want to be really rolling in it, listen here for the keywords to text in to win another $1,400 to double your stimulus with iHeartRadio.
Details at thebig920.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
The road to a championship starts now.
Trice for three, right side. Got it! Dimitri Trice for three.
64 teams, one dream. The state of Indiana hosts the mecca of college basketball. It's the NCAA tournament.
What a performance by Greg Gard's team tonight.
The Badgers take on the top-seeded Baylor Bears.
Coverage starts later today at 12:30 on Milwaukee's home for the Badgers, the Big 920.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. A caller-driven program, as we like to call it, which means Bob in New Berlin is first up for us today. Bob, welcome to the program, and let's talk NASCAR.
Yeah, I'm happy to be able to tickle you with a call this morning.
There you go.
How is it possible that the three guys doing the race on TV, the truck race, did not know what Kyle Busch was doing, letting John Hunter Nemechek win the first two parts of the race?
Ray Charles
he obviously, and secondarily, why does NASCAR want Kyle Busch to just control these truck races, and don't they realize that the casual fan gets bored with this?
Yeah, well, they've already made up Kyle Busch rules, so he can only race a certain amount of races. That's their way of answering it. Even in obvious situations when a guy is letting his own truck get the playoff point, it's kind of hard to police, isn't it?
Well, I don't mind that they don't police it, but the announcers on TV, and after the second stage, said, "Oh, it's amazing how John Hunter, gets strong at the end of the run here and is able to pass Kyle Busch."
Yeah, I
he
think Michael Waltrip said
he obviously was backing up and letting his driver pass him to get the points.
He said, "Well, sometimes you get tight in traffic when you're the leader, and that's allowing the other car to catch you." Like,
come on!
I
and those of us who watch it, I feel kind of insulted when they act like that and don't tell you that Kyle Busch is controlling this race and he's letting his driver win the stages and he'll win the final, which of course he did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only reason he won the final is because his truck wasn't on his back bumper. If his truck was in second place,
the reason he won the final is the reason he always wins, because he's got the best car and the best crew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The last 2-3 years, Kyle has not had guys in his other trucks that were real good. You know, they were running in the back, and Kyle would come in there and hop in those trucks. I mean, he even put Greg Biffle in it the other year just to see if it was his trucks or not. And Kyle has always said the day NASCAR doesn't allow him to drive his trucks at all, he'll shut his truck team down. So we don't want to see that, because that series could use
it. It is kind of like All-Star Wrestling, though, with Hulk Hogan when Kyle wins all the truck races.
And, you know, there is some implications on that, in that, like, you say if you do DraftKings, you know, you bet your lineup and stuff, and on that thing, you get points for laps you lead, and it's like a half a point for every lap you lead or something like that. So you kind of try to pick guys that are go out. You take somebody like Kyle Busch as a super high salary, you think he's going to go lead all the laps because he'll make up all the points that way. And then when he pulls over and lets the other guy go, it does affect that.
That's funny. What I like is that it takes LTN and our fabulous cynical listeners to blow a hole right in Michael Waltrip and the broadcast team's presentation yesterday. You know, nobody else even talks about it. You didn't
Bob
see it.
Bob is 100% right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it just, you know, I'm not a car guy as such, but I watch the races. And when they try to tell me something like that, I just sit there and think,
Ray
why don't
Charles
you just tell us the truth?
That
Kyle's controlling the race again.
That's pretty good. Bob, we appreciate your call, and we appreciate the fact that you brought it up. It was just a matter of time, and thanks for listening.
Bye.
We do appreciate it. You bet. The number to call is 414-421-7901 to give your take on anything having to do with the world of NASCAR. Dan and I went a week ago and saw the Phoenix race from down, not the greatest seats to see a race, I guess. We were right near the start-finish line on the infield. We got to watch pit stops closer than most people got to watch them, at least for a segment of it. Martin Truex, I didn't really think he was going to win that race. All day long, I thought it was going to be the 5 car, and it turns out they used up their tires and they had a mismatched set at the end of the race, and that's what Kyle Larson's crew told me in text messages later in the week. So for those of you, or me, that thought this race is going to fall right into Kyle Larson's hands, it didn't. And it was a pretty impressive win for Martin Truex. His first win on that track. Can you guys believe that?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that, too. I was really surprised. We have one of our listeners, Aaron Baird, is pretty good at this thing. He put out there the last 16 weeks, going back to last August to last year. We've had 12 different winners in 16 weeks in NASCAR Cup races. The only multiple winners have been Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, and William Byron. We've had that long of a string. We're 5 for 5 this year, but going back into last year, it's now 12 different winners in the last 16 weeks.
Jeez.
And as far as a mismatched set of tires, talked about that last week about the labels with the spring rim and the sidewall. There's also a stagger problem that you can have. You wouldn't think it's much. It's about a 1/4 inch of stagger is what they have to play with in the back of the car. But if you get that screwed up, it's hard to make the car turn.
Wow. And what a perfect, as good as that car was all day. I mean, he had to go to the back to start the race and marched right through the field to the front, then got nailed for speeding. Was it once or twice?
I know once for sure.
Once for sure. At 50.01, and they give him a 50, and he went 50.0.
Which is already 5 over, Todd.
Yeah, that's true. That used up the gray area right there. But, what a show. Again, put him in the back. NASCAR's got a way of doing that stuff. They've been doing it for years. They did it yesterday with Martin Truex in the Xfinity race. Put him in the back and put a show on, and I'll be darned.
He wasn't alone in that one. You can remember when he started the race yesterday, he was last.
Yeah, right.
And he went whoop. I mean, it was amazing how fast that car was. It almost looked like it was a Kyle Busch truck.
I wonder.
Didn't it feel good? Didn't it feel good to go to a race again?
Oh, it was spectacular. Smell the air. Woo-hoo. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Stimulus checks are rolling in. But if you want to be really rolling in it, listen here for the keywords to text in to win another $1,400 to double your stimulus with iHeartRadio.
Details at thebig920.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
NASCAR heads to Atlanta.
Start your engine!
It's the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
On the break, it is Chase Elliott in his tire tracks. Joey Logano.
A lot of 3 wide racing deep in the pack. 4 wide in turn 2. Here comes Truex to the lead, all 4.
Truex trying to make the outside line work.
We'll pick up coverage following Badger basketball later today around 3:30 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920, big920.com, and your free iHeartRadio app.
And if you didn't catch that promo for the start of the race, yes, the Wisconsin game will be on instead of the race until the Wisconsin game is over. It will be televised on Channel 6 today. Fox has it. The green flag is at 2:19 Milwaukee time. So you will be able to watch it at least on Fox. Interesting. And I have a question that I'm sure would create headaches, but I'm going to ask it anyway because the question is real. We're starting to see some spectacular success, and where nobody is surprised that Kyle Larson jumped back into a Cup car and immediately starts looking as every bit as good as we thought he did before, and wins one race and comes back and is looking like the Kyle Larson we all thought he would be, except his career was kind of jammed up when he was driving for Cheap Chip back before he got fired. Do we think that NASCAR totally is on board with the resurgence of Kyle Larson? Do we think that they're perfectly okay that Kyle Larson is going to be the biggest star they have this year?
I don't have an opinion on that one.
Yeah, that's a good question, but it's going to happen whether they like it or not.
And I think they are. I mean, if there was a popular win in Vegas, and I was there, I couldn't find anybody that was not happy that he won that race. So, I mean, I think they're going to be forced to if they're not. I don't see them not being that way. I mean, there may be some corporate sponsors that might be, well, we don't know because that's just the way they are. But I think NASCAR as a whole, I think is okay. I mean, it's happy with the fans. I don't think there's I don't think that issue is around as much as people think it is. I think we've kind of got past that, and I think that's the way we go forward.
The talent, that's what it's about. Leave the politics out of it. Check out the talent of this guy.
1 win, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Not bad.
And he's a real
and
racer.
1 stage.
Yeah.
He's a real racer. There was a while there we thought maybe he didn't know so much about his car and stuff like that. We thought that, but it's not that way. I mean, you talk to the people when he's working on his dirt stuff, he knows what's going on. You talk to
Well, he does on his dirt stuff.
Well, and I mean, even the Rumleys over on his dirt late model, he didn't know anything about dirt late models till he got into it last year, and he wants to know about it. So he finds out about what they're doing, how it works, and stuff like that.
Brian, the difference is it's not his knowledge of the car. He has a good feel for understeer and oversteer and what portion of the racetrack it's in. But now he's got people that are with him that can interpret what he's saying and fixing the car to make him go forward. It's not that he knows the nuts and bolts about what happened, but he does give good feedback that way.
Yes, feedback,
and when he was at Chip Ganassi, he didn't have that help.
So you're saying his crew chief is pretty good then, huh?
I'd say the engineers are pretty good.
Oh,
I'm saying.
Okay. Well, either way, Kyle Larson has elbowed his way back in big time, whether you like him or not, whether you actually want to have anything to do with politics or not. He is as talented a driver as NASCAR has, and should be very happy that he's back where he belongs in a Cup car, and not just a Cup car, in a Cup car that is capable of winning. You think back the amount of talent that was wasted for 6 wins in 7 years driving that 42 car, where he could have been winning like this in a great organization like.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. I'll be so happy when he's named most popular driver at the end of the year.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
It could be.
That would be something.
And he's had this talent since the beginning. I mean, he's been. I've heard Kyle Larson's name for years now. My first time I saw him was at IRP. I was in the infield off of turn 2 watching a Silver Crown race, and a car come off the corner sideways. I thought it was going to come right at me. I had a camera. I actually dumped the camera and moved away, and he saved it. And he kept doing that every lap. And I'm like, my God, this kid's doing that every lap. And who is this kid? And it was Kyle Larson. So, I mean, he's been, since the very beginning, he's had this talent.
And how lucky we are that he's back and in a good car and is going to be providing us with lots of exciting entertainment for many years. He's young, he's aggressive, he's fun to watch, and thank goodness he's part of our sport. 414-421-5321. Nope, 414-421-7901. I gave a wrong number there. Imagine that.
God.
Next thing you'll tell me is Tony Stewart got engaged again.
He did.
He did. He was engaged before, and we never really knew what happened to fiancé number 1. But he's got the lovely Leah Pruitt, who is a drag racer of some note. And they have been together for over a year now, and he finally gave her a rock the size of Texas, and they're officially engaged. So
let's go to the scorecard. Tony Stewart is 3 for 0, and she's 2 in.
0 for 2.
I said she's up there 0-2, and he's gone down looking a couple times. So we'll see how this goes.
Did you tell me this is her 3rd husband coming? Stewart is.
Yeah.
Tony seems to be a smart guy to me.
Yeah, and probably has the money to keep this one.
They both do.
Can you say prenup?
Oh, I feel good about that, Brian. What it was? She got money?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, those people in them drag racing, there's big money in that stuff too.
Okay, I feel better now.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty equal deal there. I mean, there's been some videos out there. Tony's done a little bit of drag racing now since he's been with her. He went to, I think it's the Don Garlett School or something like that in Gainesville, Florida, and he was in a Top Fuel car practicing doing that. And
oh wow,
pretty cool video if you go on and look at it. I think it's on YouTube on Tony Stewart's page. It happened like this winter, and he was pretty. That set him back in his seat Now, he hasn't had her in a sprint car yet, so we'll see what happens if she tries that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Maybe she'll be up here when he runs the sprint cars and the SRX race at Slinger.
Maybe she'll come up to Slinger and be there while Tony's racing.
there for the XRF?
I hope I get an opportunity to come on over and have a little interview with her. Noted.
By the way, the ban restriction has been lifted from Slinger Speedway, so buy up on them XRX stickers.
We'll be right back.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Stimulus checks are rolling in. But if you want to be really rolling in it, listen here for the keywords to text in to win another $1,400 to double your stimulus with iHeartRadio.
Details at thebig920.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Next week on NASCAR Live, we're talking dirt at Bristol.
I'm excited about it. I've only raced twice on dirt. It's going to be a learning curve for sure, but I look at it as Bristol's been our worst track for the past couple years. Why the heck not lay down dirt and see what we can do this way? So I think it's going to be fun and, a new challenge, something different.
Hi, I'm Mike Bagley. Join us for NASCAR Live on the Motor Racing Network.
Tuesday night at 6 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920 and Big920.com.
And welcome back to the program. Like I said, it's probably a mistake to overlook Atlanta and think of next week. But Brian, this has been pretty much on everybody's radar for a long time, and you have the Bristol itinerary there.
Yes, yeah, they're going to get started on Friday. There'll be 4 practice sessions, 2 each for the Cup and the Truck Series. It's going to start at about 2 o'clock our time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. They're going to do 50-minute sessions, first for the trucks, then for the Cup Series. Then they're going to take a half-an-hour break, check out the track. Remember, we're going to have to deal with that all weekend, track prep. Saw a lot of that if you watched this week's stuff, but it's a really good racetrack. I think they're going to be good. And then they're going to go back again at 4:30 Central Time and practice with the Truck Series again, and then they're going to finish up from 5:35 our time till about 6:30 our time with the final Cup practice, and that's going to be Friday's deal. And then on Saturday, there is no qualifying here. They're going to have heat races, 15-lap heat races, starting at 3:30 our time on Saturday. They're going to have 4 of them for the Truck Series, 15 laps each. Then they're going to take a half-an-hour break to prep the track, and then starting at 5 o'clock our time next week, Saturday night, 4 15-lap Cup Series heat races. That's going to be pretty cool. And then they're going to that'll be done at about 5:45 our time. Then they're going to prep the track, and then they're going to run the truck race at 7 o'clock next week, Saturday night. So.
And how they align the cars out of the heats?
It's a random draw. Draw.
After the finish. What are they?
Passing points. It's going to be a passing point event.
Oh, here we go. Passing points.
Yep. Which is
you're going to have to explain that to me, Brian.
Well, it's if you start say there's 40 cars there. 10 cars in each heat race, you start 10th and you work your way from 10th to, say, 5th. You get a certain amount of points, also the amount of points assigned for where you finish in that position. And then, like, if you start on the pole and you win, you're going to get so many points for that, too. So it's kind of a calculated deal. We use it all over the place. We use it at Plymouth on our weekly program
100
there.
plus 5?
Yeah, I don't know the exact equation. I don't have that one in front of me, how they're going to do it. But I'm sure they'll explain it to us on the show, too. Everybody uses a little bit of different scenario.
Oh.
You do not get subtractions for going backwards. So you don't get, if you start on the pole and you finish 5th, you don't get points taken away from you for that. You just get the points for finishing in that particular position. I think these are 10 cars in a race. You get 10 points to win the heat and, 1 to finish 10th. And then you'll get an adjustment of how many points per position you gain.
Cool. All right. Yeah, it's certainly going to be different and fun and exciting, and it's all starting
All
Friday.
of it's on television?
Yes.
Wow.
Which will be cool. And you're going to have a lot of, and this is going to be the cool part about a random draw. You're going to have guys like Chris Wyndham, who's a USAC sprint car guy there. You got Mike Marlar, who's a dirt late model guy there. You got all these guys running these cars, which are, subpar cars in our eyes on a normal track. But now you're going to put them on a dirt track where they run dirt cars. And Mike Marlar, they interviewed him earlier this week about it. And he says, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot like the street stock I started racing in. So we'll see. He gets a good draw, starts on the pole for this thing, and he's able to hang on and win a 15-lap heat race. He's going to start up front for the main event. Who knows what's going to happen, So it should be pretty cool, I think.
250 laps for 40 cars on the dirt. I mean, imagine that. What kind of track are they going to have at the end of that?
Well, this week they raced all week there. They had like 823 cars for the week for this event here. And they had, I'd say the IMSA stock cars are the closest class to what a cup car is going to be. And they started 30 in those qualifying heat races and really had no problem at all. Wednesday, they raced all day. They started at 8 o'clock in the morning and they raced all the way until 6:30 that night. And they only had to rework the track like twice. And it held up really well. And there was bright sunshine all day. So I think the track's going to be pretty good.
Brian.
Yeah.
These cars are 1,000 pounds heavier.
Not than an IMSA stock car. No, those things are over 3,000 pounds. Those are heavy cars. Those are
Cup cars are 3,400 pounds.
Yeah. IMSA stock cars.
Pounds.
40 cars. 250 laps. Well, hey, we have our fingers crossed.
But Brian's right. The way this track has held up this week, I think they're in really good shape not to get it tore up.
And boy, did they hit a home run making this racetrack. You got dirt tracks that have been in business for years that aren't as nice as this place.
Right.
How long has it been if you said you run cup cars without soft walls?
Ooh, that's right.
Right. And some of those guys that hit the wall this week at Bristol in those other classes probably wish there were soft walls there. They had some pretty heavy licks.
Let's sneak a phone call in here. Paul from Racine waiting to talk to us. Hi, Paul.
Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. A couple points I want to make. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of comment on what Brian just talked about. I think, what I think will be interesting about Bristol, one of the things that I think NASCAR struggles with on ovals is the lack of continuity of action on the track during a weekend. I can remember going to Bristol and you'd watch, this boring one car at a time qualifying. And, then there was nothing for hours, right? And then you'd come back so I think this will be a good experiment to see if they can kind of keep that continuation of things going on throughout a race weekend. That's number one. Number two, you mentioned Kyle Larson, right? And I thought the same thing, Todd, in terms of how certain people might actually feel about him and his resurgence. But I think that's a double-edged sword in my opinion, because I think when you look at him, he is the poster child for diversity. I mean, he's a mixed race, right? He's Asian, he's, European American. I think a lot of it's going to depend upon, and I think he's done his sincere contrition on this whole thing, and I hope that he's embraced. I really do. That that it can be shown that there's redemption. Yeah,
you bet. That seems where we're going.
Finally, the other thing is, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch any of the 12 Hours of Sebring, and maybe Ed can comment on this, but they had David Hobbs on, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., who I think has really turned into a great announcer. They were interviewing David Hobbs, and he was commenting about the year that Dale Earnhardt Sr. was leading Daytona going into Turn 3 and a tire cut down. And it was funny because he said that CBS had sent him to his hauler to interview Teresa, and then when that happened, Teresa just went off on him and basically blamed him for, your bad karma, get out of the motor coach. And, I don't know if any of you saw that.
No, that's pretty funny, though.
I do remember that race, though. They had the camera on there, and she was all excited, and it was a kid, and jumping up and down, and then all of a sudden the tire blew, and then it was like, we didn't go back in the motorhome anymore.
That was the end of that.
It was funny because Hobbs basically said that, she just, berated him And I never knew that. I never knew that story, and I thought it was really interesting, him telling this story, basically throwing him out of the motor coach. And I often wondered if she even knew who he was. You know,
that's funny.
That you're not he's just not a commentator. He's a genuine, true champion, you know.
Great points, Paul. Thanks for the call. We appreciate it. And I'd have to agree. Junior has turned into quite the announcer. He's pretty good. There's no doubt. We'll be right back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Stimulus checks are rolling in. But if you want to be really rolling in it, listen here for the keywords to text in to win another $1,400 to double your stimulus with iHeartRadio.
Details at thebig920.com.
It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities, including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for youth 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The road to a championship starts now.
Trice for 3, right side. Got it! Demetric Trice for 3.
64 teams, one dream. The state of Indiana hosts the mecca of college basketball. It's the NCAA tournament.
What a performance by Greg Gard's team tonight.
The Badgers take on the top-seeded Baylor Bears.
Coverage starts later today at 12:30 on Milwaukee's home for the Badgers, the Big 920.
Ed, you missed your calling, I think. I believe you should have been a lawyer. Gregson's personal attorney, Ed Kaluka, has managed to get NASCAR to make an announcement there will be no penalty for Noah Gragson for what happened yesterday in the Xfinity race in Atlanta. I expected some more than this, and I don't really understand how you can back into a guy like that and get away with it.
I explained it all to you.
I know.
Black and white. Bob Popper's had a thing on it.
You
Bob
can't.
Popper said, too, I
You
don't
have to have better
this.
car control than that, than to run into a car that is being jacked up and having the tires changed.
He bumped the thing trying to get into his own stall. That's what the guy screwed him.
Ed, I am wrong. You are correct. NASCAR is all over you.
Remember the good old days? Remember the good old days when Kevin Harvick got sat down for a week for hitting a truck on pit road on a Saturday race?
Oh, that's right. My God, that was a while back. You know what I like about your brain, Dan? It's not ruined. You can remember all this stuff. Mine must be somewhat ruined. There's just too much crap in there from all these years. If you'd like to participate, you can do so at 414-421-7901. Ed, a couple of crew chiefs got a week off this week after the race at Phoenix last week, huh? Keselowski and Suarez's guy. Well, what did they get their time off for?
Lug nuts.
Lug nuts.
Just plain not tight enough. Well, I mean, how do you lose a crew chief for that?
You get one, right? If it's two, you lose a crew chief. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Oh. In the truck race yesterday, Kyle Busch had one loss, which is a monetary fine. And we knew that one when he took off in the last pit stop. Yeah, when he took off in that
series. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is in the trucks. But when he took off in that last pit stop, that guy's hand was still in the wheel well when he took off. I'm like, there's no way they could have got him all tight when he only missed one. So good for that guy.
I think it's like $2,000 for the trucks, maybe $1,000 for trucks, $2,000 for Xfinity, and $10,000 for Cup.
And two of them, and you lose your crew chief for a week. That's a pretty damn big penalty right there, isn't it?
Well, next year they won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. I have to say how interesting it was to be on the road yesterday during the racing. I was at a dirt track race in Yuma, Arizona, which is about a 3-hour drive. And when I had left, I was listening to the truck race and followed immediately by the Xfinity race and getting a barrage of text messages from my 3 radio partners to tell me what really was going on in the race I was listening to on my Sirius radio. And it was really interesting. I was able to have a picture of what has happened, although I thought it was interesting, Dan. I think it was you that said something about he'll allow the John Hunter Nemechek to win this thing or something like that. Didn't you say that?
It was the stages that was going on. It was every time they come to the end of the stage, the 51 would back up and the 4 would pass them, and it was happening again. And here we go again for the second stage. And I didn't know what would happen for the actual win of the race. Obviously, you didn't have to worry about that because John Hunter was in third and he had somebody else in second, and so Kyle was able to win it.
It was it made for an intro, and then by the time I got home, I was able to watch it. By the way, because I was out there watching some dirt track racing, I got to see and talk to Kenny Schrader, who was racing. He flew out and drove another guy's car. He didn't bring his own car all the way out there, and got to talk to him a little bit. Matter of fact, I said to him, "Did I hear that right? That you are going to be the setup guy for the SRX series, and that you're going to come to Slinger and set the cars up?" And he said, yes, he will be making one trip to Slinger for one day. That seems like, they got 12 cars to set up. Ed, he probably will just set up 1 or 2 maybe, and then give the setup sheet to all these crew chiefs that are coming in, right?
Right. Those cars are all identical. They're built by Tony Erie Jr., same cars that April runs. If all I have to do is call April and have April give them the setup, and we're good to go.
Is it that close of a car to a regular Slinger car?
Oh, yeah, they're identical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only difference is the engine.
And quite a bit
of
wheelbase.
Excuse me. It has a little shorter wheelbase, so they turn a little bit faster.
Oh, so our guys really could help them pretty much then, huh?
Plus, they got 18-inch wheels and wide tires, so that's going to be another big thing.
Kenny Wallace was supposed to help Schrader out. Brian, did I see that he doesn't seem like he's all that interested in doing it?
Well, there's a rumor that he may not be doing as much of it as he thought before, because the testing stuff might interfere with a lot of the other things he's got going on. He does have a very full schedule of dirt modified racing going all around. I mean, there's another rumor that he might be coming up here for the Clash at the Creek, running one of Mike Mullen's cars, possibly for that, which would be really cool because that's some of the best cars you can have out there. So that's what we're hearing. He may or may not do it. I guess time will tell and see who actually climbs in those cars and starts testing them when they start rolling them out. They got some time because I don't think that series starts until sometime in June. So
right,
I guess time will tell.
doesn't it remind you a little bit about the day when Trickle and Marcus and Jim Sauter would all show up and set up those IROC cars? And now you've got guys from Missouri who are, all three of those guys, by the way, were from Wisconsin. Now you got a couple of guys from Missouri who are going to be tapped to set up the Neo IROC series, the SRX series, right?
And I got a story to tell you someday about Schrader and setups, but we're going to run out of dirt time.
There you go. Yes, as a matter of fact, we're going to take a break, and Brian's going to come back and give us the lowdown on what's been happening at Bristol this week. Hang in there.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Stimulus checks are rolling in. But if you want to be really rolling in it, listen here for the keywords to text in to win another $1,400 to double your stimulus with iHeartRadio.
Details at thebig920.com. It's a red, white, and blue weekend of family fun as Road America hosts the NASCAR Cup Series July 1st through the 4th in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4 huge days of stock cars featuring the NASCAR Cup, Henry 180 Xfinity, and Trans Am Series. Camp on site and catch every lap. Enjoy fan activities including autograph sessions and free family fun zone. And free admission for you 16 and under. Get your printed home tickets today before they sell out at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, your national park of speed.
NASCAR heads to Atlanta.
Start your engine!
It's the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
On the break, it is Chase Elliott in his tire tracks. Joey Logano.
A lot of 3 wide racing deep in the pack, 4 wide in turn 2. Here comes Truex to the lead, all 4.
Truex trying to make the outside line work.
We'll pick up coverage following Badger basketball later today around 3:30 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920, big920.com, and your free iHeartRadio app.
And with that, we will go to the Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt. By lots of dirt going on.
Yes, lots of racing took place at Bristol this week. They were supposed to run the inaugural Bristol Dirt Nationals Monday through Thursday with preliminary action. Monday, it rained after the heat races, and Thursday was completely washed out, so they squeezed everything, 834 cars worth of racing, into basically 2 days. They started racing on Wednesday at 8 in the morning and went all the way until 7:30 at night when it started raining again. So we'll go through some of the features. They ran 3 features per division. The 604 crates raced. Austin Dillon was a preliminary winner, Kenny Ford and Oscar McCown. And the 602 crates, Seth Wimpy, I didn't make up that name, Spencer Singleton, and 12-year-old Trey Mills won one of the preliminary races.
Impressive, isn't he?
Yeah. The Open Mods preliminary winners were Kyle Strickler, Michael Asbury, and Rick Michael Jr. The IMCA Mods were the only class to get all 6 of their preliminary feature winners in. They had Jerry Filippo, Kyle Heckman won, J.D. Aringer won both of them, Jesse Sobbing, Ricky Thornton Jr. And in the IMCA stock cars, Dallin Murray, the kid, Damon Murdy, the father, and Johnny Spa were the preliminary winners there. So then we moved to Friday night. They started running some of the championship races. The super late model showed up. Chris Ferguson won the 10,000 to win super late model feature there on Friday night over Kyle Larson. Jonathan Davenport was third. The IMCA Modifieds Championship feature for $7,500 to win went to Kyle Heckman over Ricky Thornton Jr. Ricky Thornton Jr. had to start 12th in that race, got up to third. And then the IMCA Sport Mods 5,000 to win, McGuire DeYoung won that. And the 602 crates Friday night, Kaz Fowler won that. Also Friday night in Page, Texas, the NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaw Sprint Cars race, Sheldon Haudenschild was your winner. Yesterday up at Port Royal, Pennsylvania, 3,000 win for the 410 sprints. Justin Peck was your winner. 3,000 win for the super late models. That went to Greg Satterley. Night number 2 at Page, Texas for the NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Brad Sweet was your winner. That's his 60th World of Outlaw feature win. He doesn't think he's been racing that long, but sure enough, it was. Brownstown, Indiana, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was supposed to run their Indiana Icebreaker. They started running the program. They had like 4 inches of rain there during the week. They had 3 flips during the heat races. The last flip was a nasty one. The guy got flighted out of there. I guess he's going to be okay, but they said that's enough, and they're going to come back and race in May there. So that moves to Bristol for the big night, $50,000 to win for the super late models last night. Jonathan Davenport had to start 10th in that feature. He drove to the front at about the halfway point and took off and dominated. He got the win over Kyle Larson. Scott Bloomquist finished 3rd.
And
the open
passed Kyle Larson.
Oh, yes. Yes, he did. In the open late models, in the open modifieds, 10,000 to win, Kyle Strickler was at Brownstown, Indiana. When they realized that that race was going to be canceled, he found someone with an airplane, hopped on the airplane, flew to Bristol, started on the pole for the 10,000 to win open modified feature, and won it over Matt Crafton. Yes, Matt Crafton. He finished 2nd there. That was pretty impressive. In the 7,500 to win 604 crate late model feature, Austin Dillon dominated that one. He started on the pole and ran away and won it. And in the 5,000 to win IMCA stock car feature winner, Dallin Murdy picked up the feature win there. So that is all the results. There is some news in the dirt world, though, for those of you that have been fans of racing in the Arizona area. The Arizona Speedway in Queen Creek, Arizona, suddenly, all of a sudden now, is going to be closing in like 2 weeks in April. I had heard rumblings of this back during Speed Weeks. A buddy of mine that's in the business down there said he had heard that the state owned the land that the track was on, and there's talks that maybe the state wasn't going to allow them to race there much longer because it doesn't fit their strategic plan going into the future. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, just like that, they announced it on Wednesday, and the place is closing the 2nd week of April. So
it's the track that the Wild West Shootout has been at.
Correct. So the Wild West Shootout has already been announced that they are moving to Vado, New Mexico's Vado Raceway Park in New Mexico. The weather in New Mexico, not going to be as warm as it is in Phoenix, but the facility is absolutely gorgeous. It's brand new. They've only run like 2 races there because they opened it brand new last year, and then the pandemic shut them down for the rest of the year. So we'll see how that all works out. But that's a bummer.
Seems kind of strange that they wouldn't have told him in advance that they were going to close his track down. You know, he acted all surprised about it. But
yeah, and like I said, I had heard that it was going to be a longer duration. They were going to give him more time, and why it was so sudden, I'm not sure exact reasons.
April
on that.
3rd, their last race. I'm not.
That's
sure
a bummer for the Phoenix area because, you know, Canyon doesn't quite have the amenities as Arizona Speedway, so now a big area like Phoenix is left with just one racetrack again.
Yeah, there you go. In the world of asphalt, not a whole heck of a lot to tell you about, except the 4th time last week that Ty Majeski has won the Rattler 250 at the South Alabama Speedway in Opp, Alabama. Congratulations to Ty.
In dominating fashion.
Yes, very impressive win. And there was a 100 lapper at Hickory Speedway yesterday, which I probably wouldn't give you the results for had not it been for Carson Quapple was your winner at Hickory yesterday in that 100 lapper.
Toby.
And as Ed mentioned, restrictions have been lifted for Slinger Speedway this year. We had been going at a percentage of the seating area maximum last year. That has been lifted, and we are going to be at no capacity. Whatever we can put in the place legally and safely is what the crowds are going to be this year. So as an example, for the Slinger Nationals on the 6th of July and 4 short days later when we put another full house in there for the SRX series on a Saturday night, the 10th of July. It's going to be great stuff for that little town of Slinger, Wisconsin, let me tell you.
And Elkhart has also got something going on.
What's that?
Just days before that is the Cup race.
Oh, yeah, the Cup race.
What's that?
Wow. I thought you had something else you were going to tell us about. Yeah, what a perfect time to be in the state of Wisconsin, huh? In July. Well, I mean, the anticipation is already really amazing, and it's going to be a fun place to be. Hey, thanks for tuning into the program. We do appreciate you making us a part of your Sunday morning, as we like to remind you, real race cars have doors. even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover. Losi for all of us. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.